Happy Halloween. It's October 31st. And I was just checking out the market, seeing if there's any plays today, and I think the only play today would be VIX calls. So VIX is a volatility indicator, and it generally tells you what the market as a whole is thinking. And I'll explain why I think this is the only play today. And I don't feel great that this is the only play because higher volatility means that stocks tend to go down. It's not always the case, but that means like BBAI, that means like Bull, like some of these stocks are going to potentially go down and break their support line. But that's why you go long on calls and stocks, and just so you don't have to stress it. If you do short term calls, that's a dangerous position to be in. So, why do I think that's the only play today? Well, VIX has been slowly going up. I have VIX call options for January as more of a hedge, really. I'd prefer them to go to zero so then the rest of my portfolio could go up. But if you zoom out on US500, this is like SPY, but over a 24-hour period. We've been in this steady uptrend, but when the uptrend gets a little too steep, like it has recently, then it tends to do sharp pullbacks. And so the last time that happened was let me zoom in here, was right here on October 25th. So this ascending wedge forms, but you can see that there's a clear upper resistance line that the institutions, the big players, that they just don't they're not going to buy anything after that. It's the line in the sand, and it's pretty well established. And every time you see a big spike downward like this, that's usually accompanied by a nice Trump tweet, and he usually tweets on Fridays, and it's quite predictable. I think there's another one back here, and going as far back as April. I mean, ever since he became president, it's been nicely timed where Trump has negative tweets on Fridays, nicely corresponding to upper resistance lines being hit, and then he chickens out the following week, and all is all is hunky dory, and the market's back to spiking upwards. So, what do I think is going to happen is that I think we're going to break down to this support line. I think we're going to get to the bottom of the trend in the next couple days. However, just in case I'm wrong, I'm not going to play SPY puts. I've learned my lesson on that. So instead, I'm going to play volatility. So if we were to go beyond this resistance line and create something like this, well, now we'd be bouncing between these. It's called like a megaphone shape. And in the book, Technical Analysis for the Financial Markets, what that means is that volatility is going to increase. So if the market goes down, volatility increases. If the market goes up further beyond this resistance line, volatility increases. And so VIX, I just play 40, 40 strike on January calls. And you know what? If it goes up to the previous high, was around 28, I think it almost hit 30. I'll sell I'll sell a little bit of my hedge, and then for the most part, I'm going to just hold it just in case the market crash that everyone wants to happen ends up occurring. And for the record, I'd still lose money, but this is just a hedge, and I always intend to hedge when we're at the upper resistance line. In fact, I thought about hedging yesterday, but I didn't. Such is life. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're on our way down to the support line again, and that's where we'll see. Okay, are we continuing in this uptrend? I mean, I think yes. I think AI is still going to be hot. I think people are. I mean, there's no reason that the hype is going to end yet, but we'll see. But I do think that the hype is going to subside for a few days, and you'll see some news article that the world is imploding, and then they're just trying to shake out retail traders. Until we see this support line really break, we're still in a bull market, and so that's what I'm watching for. But I really think, based on all the earnings that I've heard this week, that we're going to continue upwards once we hit the support line. But yeah, hold on to your boots at least until Monday. If we get a Trump tweet, just know that he's paid pretty well, I'm sure, by his billionaires. I don't know, but the chart always seems to align perfectly with his tweets. And so that's why I'm expecting some big negative Trump news over the next day or two, and then a sharp reversal in the stock market once we hit the support line. So I'm not shaken out because all of my holdings are long term, all my big holdings. And so, you know, if I have my way, we'll grind higher. And then once we start getting to January, that's when I'll start sweating if we don't recover, because that's when my calls will start expiring. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen in the market. I mean, we're already breaking the support line. Maybe we don't need a Trump tweet this time. Maybe it'll just grind down by itself. But I'm not playing any calls, and I'm not playing any calls at all except on VIX for now.